31st of March, the last day of the month of 2026. It is Dixon inviting at Talk 99.5, talk995.com. We welcome you in, and we've got the whole gang back together. Steve West behind the glass, and you and I, Richard, and Phil in the traffic center. I mean, we're ready to rock and roll today.
Steve West under glass. You usually have to order that 24 hours before.
It's pretty
you
expensive,
show up
too.
You
at
do
the
that,
restaurant.
yes.
Yes. Very good. How are you, Steve? Did you have a good weekend?
Had a good weekend, yeah. Yesterday, got some yard work in, and that was fun. Right up until the point where I was probably one of the few people in the entire city who got rain.
Yeah,
You
I got a
and
little
Valerie.
too. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
lucky
that's
you.
So strange.
I
got
know.
nothing.
The
I was sitting there
skies.
thinking I can get here and do all this yard work, and then all of a sudden, just, here, have some rain. I was like, well,
that
I guess I'm
weird?
done for the day.
I was out blowing the driveway, and I was like, what the heck is this falling from the sky? This is messing me up. And I was like, it's rain.
Did you see
That's
the size
weird.
of the moon coming in
Oh,
today?
beautiful.
Huge.
I feel fairly certain it's falling
Hey,
toward
it's-
us. I
it's-
think it's coming toward us.
It's the biggest moon you've ever seen,
It
right?
was. It was huge. It
It's
was fantastic.
huge.
It was the biggest moon.
Biggest moon
The most
ever.
amazing. You notice this happened under my administration.
Yeah.
It didn't. Joe Biden's moons were weak. They were very weak. They were small. They were bad moons. Everybody was talking about how bad their moons were. Yeah, pretty impressive.
was
This
beautiful.
is they usually come up with some cool name for it. It's a strawberry.
I don't know. We'll look it up.
Spring moon.
It'll pop up in a minute. We'll be like, oh, well,
Probably.
that's what it was.
Because we talked about it.
Yeah,
They're going to
yeah.
try to sell us a necklace
That's
based
right.
on this
Do we
moon.
need to have a special name for a full moon that comes on April Fool's Day?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the Fool's Moon.
Fool's
I like
Moon,
it.
yeah.
I like it.
Hey, the weather forecast for today, 20% chance of showers, 81 the high, so kind of warm. Tomorrow, 40% chance of rain, 82, 30% chance Thursday. Folks, we don't have good news for Easter.
No.
It looks like Sunday's going to be pretty rainy. Now, again, we're just a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Things can change a little bit. But right now, if you are busy with Easter egg hunts or the family's coming over and you're going to sit out back in the backyard and there's a big table and y'all are going to enjoy an Easter lunch together or something, you might want to make plans to move it inside.
Move that sucker inside.
Yeah.
Still,
We'll watch it. Maybe toward the end of the week things will look better. But right now, Easter Sunday looks very wet.
it's a nice day for a resurrection.
Yes, it is.
Nice day to live again. It's my little Easter tune.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Anything I can do?
Appreciate that, Richard.
Yowza.
Not sure that's what that was
Oh,
intended for,
what
but
do you-
okay,
what?
we can go
Are
with
you
it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What about how about Barbers? You have a good time out at Barbers?
Fantastic. Weather was great,
Yeah.
save
beautiful.
for Sunday afternoon, right about the time the Indy Next series got off the track and IndyCar was getting ready to come on. We could tell that somebody was doing a burn because all of a sudden we got real hazy.
Oh,
Oh.
shame on those folks. I have a question for you. This is really wild. So, Sunday, I guess early afternoon, I got a phone call from a friend going, "Hey, do you know, I know you're in the news and you kind of know what's going on. All these planes that are flying real low, like in formation and everything." And I was like, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you're in Alabaster, the Saginaw area. I said, I bet you money that they're doing this for the Indy over at Barber.
That is exactly what it was. They were
And-
circling, waiting for the proper timing for the national anthem to be done, and then
to
they flew
fly.
over.
But it freaks some people out. I think the first thing that comes to me, we're in the middle of a war with Iran. What is, because again, all these, it wasn't like jets. They were like,
Oh, no, they
to some
were-
people, they look like commercial
Yeah,
airliners.
they were
I
the
was
equivalent
like,
of commercial airliners.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
they were.
that's why people were freaking out.
And they were a little late because of TSA. The lines were long, and they
Well,
couldn't really make the.
About 20 minutes after I got that phone call, I'm outside and I see exactly what they were talking about because they flew right by the house. And I'm over, not far from 65 down in North Shelby County, but I was
And
just
then-
like, wow.
Did a white minivan drive by right after that?
No, that didn't
Okay,
happen,
all right.
no.
It was followed by a black helicopter, though.
But,
Hey, whoa.
that was pretty cool.
Hey.
So they did fly over. Was that
Yes.
neat to see?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was very cool to see and pretty cool to hear, too, because those things make a lot of noise and kind of cause some of the windows to rattle a little bit.
Yeah.
So
And
I can see
a
that.
tribute to George Barber they did?
Oh, it's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah, I bet it
It was
was.
great. They
That's what it's all
got
about.
several of his vehicles, including 3 motorcycles that were in the collection there. And they even brought his
White
famed
minivan?
white minivan out to trail the
Aw.
whole crowd.
Yep.
So
That's
it was
awesome.
really well done.
Yeah, if you ever took a tour of Barbers, you rode in that white minivan. I mean, if you took it with George Barber, you
Yeah,
rode in that white
yeah.
minivan.
That was his car. I mean,
His thing.
he that's what he drove from home to
Well,
the racetrack.
kind of sums the guy up, doesn't it?
It does.
Man
He
did not
just-
put on airs.
No, he
he had
didn't.
all those cool vehicles, but he
He had a low profile.
He drove the minivan.
He just wanted to blend in with everybody.
Well, he did a pretty good job of that.
Well, I mean, you think about it. There's a lot of billionaires that are like that. Sam Walton drove a 1970s flat-side Chevy pickup truck basically all his life, despite the fact that he was a billionaire.
Warren Buffett still driving the same old car, living in the same old house. I mean, for them, it's not about the money.
Some of it's just comfort.
It's about the power and the women. Let's face it. That's what it's really.
It's what they like.
You get right down to it. That's what it's all about. Hey, Mr. Bugs wants to talk to you about your mosquito problem. It's going to start here in a minute. If you don't have them already around your house, then look out, my friends, because they are going to begin swarming. This is the month for it. This is where they really begin to show up in droves in your backyard, especially we get some rain today or tomorrow. You can expect that there's going to be some skeeters in the neighborhood. Time to talk to these guys about mosquito reduction. I would trust the company that knows pest control with my mosquito reduction before I would trust anybody else who's just a mosquito reduction, like that's all they do. No. No, you want somebody who understands insects, understands bugs, understands how they work, and that is exactly what Mr. Bugs does. So they do all the pest control, they do the mosquito reduction, they do the termite bonding, they even take care of small rodents, small rodent control. These guys are the best. They're the best I've ever had. I love them. You'll love them. Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com, MrBugs.com. They know what bugs you. Call them locally at 941-6252. It never ceases to amaze me how the left continues to try to spin whatever news they can in as negative a fashion as possible.
Absolutely.
Recently, I mean, within the last couple of minutes, I saw a slug up here on CNN directly over your head that said that Pete Hegseth undersold the risks of going to war.
CNN.
Yeah.
Please, for the love.
He's the Secretary of War, a.k.a. head of the Department of War. And he was out there, come on, guys, no one's going to die. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. There's no risk at all. Honestly, it's like playing video games. Come on, man. That's not what happened, and you know it. And by the way, we've lost a couple of pieces of some pretty expensive equipment that were on the ground in Saudi Arabia when Iran hit them. One of them was a plane that was sort of a flying command center. Don't worry, we've got 6 or 8 more of those. We'll send another one over, okay? So we're not concerned about that. You just hate to lose like a $500 million aircraft to an Iranian Scud when you should have had some method of keeping that from happening. But overall, our casualties have been very light, and I'm talking both dead and injured, very light compared to what's going on with Iran. We are crushing them consistently on a daily, hourly basis. The reason that they feel the need to jump up every time Iran sends some sort of missiles or drones into Israel, be like, oh, there's another drone attack. You're like, if you had to break in every time the United States was dropping bombs on Iran, you'd never stop talking about it because we've been doing it consistently for the past 5 weeks. It is happening day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. We are destroying one piece of infrastructure after another over there. And you guys are more excited about, oh, no, here comes some missiles from Iran into Israel. And there goes the Iron Dome taking them out like it's supposed to.
Absolutely. And the thing is, if you say we've been in this, 5 weeks or so, do the math. If we've hit more than 10,000, think about it for a minute. 10,000 targets in that area. And you do the number of days and the number of hours. That's a lot of taking out a lot of things in a short period of time.
It makes me wonder how the mainstream media would have handled, today's mainstream media would have handled World War II. They would have been like, now let's talk about Hitler. Is he really that bad? Can we discuss?
You're not very far off.
I mean, seriously.
This media right here, CNN, like you said over my head, and some of the alphabet networks, absolutely. They would be like, he's not that bad.
They seem to be rooting very hard for America to be on the wrong side or to be on the losing side of this thing. It's not happening, but they're trying to paint that picture. They are trying very hard to paint that picture. All I would say is the American people are smarter than that. Most of us. I mean, 7 million people showed up to a No Kings rally.
That's exactly
in a country where we don't have a king.
That's exactly right. So there are plenty of people out there that are drinking that punch, and they know it.
Wait, so you're telling me that the Burger King is not actually a king?
They got rid of him. They
we
got rid of
mentioned that
Creepy King. Did you not
yesterday.
see that? They did away with it.
We actually mentioned that yesterday. But there is a certain percentage where they know, the liberal media outlets know, that some of what they're saying is getting into the bloodstream of some of Americans in this country.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ones that aren't paying attention, and you could put blinders on and just lead them all around, and that's what you had over the weekend.
They're going to be
That's
shocked.
exactly what you had.
They're going to be shocked when this thing is over and Iran is capitulated and, life is good and the price of gas drops back down again to $2.
Oh, they're going to hate it. Liberal media is not
Oh, yeah.
wishing for the gas
course
prices
not.
to go down.
Of course not.
Just know that average Americans, and I'm not talking to you guys that are listening to us, but those that aren't, they will hang. I mean, and that's one of the things they're talking a lot about too. Oh my gosh, look at the price of gasoline! Isn't this terrible what Donald Trump is doing? And this war is awful. Yeah, war is awful. I mean, we didn't want to do it, but Iran didn't want to negotiate with us, and we knew they had nuclear capabilities. Here comes the enriched uranium. Gotta get that. No. These guys have no bit. So you know what? The short-term pain for the gas prices, no one wants it. But would you rather not have world peace, or at least an effort for world peace, for a couple of weeks of gasoline that's $3.50 to $4? I would do it.
To sum this up in a term that is hopefully understandable to most people, Donald Trump was the first president who looked at those boats coming up from Venezuela loaded with drugs and said, why don't we stop them before they even get here? How about we try that on for size? Because otherwise, they get the drugs here, and they sell them, and our kids take them, and they die. If we take them out before they get here, we don't have that problem. Now just expand that and make it larger where Iran is concerned. How about we take them out before they get the bomb? How about we get that done, and we don't ever let the terrorist nation, the leading supplier and exporter of terrorism in the world, how about we keep them from getting a nuclear bomb? That's not an unreasonable position to take.
Listen, we've seen some great football coaches previously and still right now. We've never seen a president that's this aggressive. In other words, we're playing offense. We always play defense.
Right.
America's always played defense. Or, we get involved in a war. We got to take care of this or that. Rarely have we ever seen a president that has taken this foothold and said, oh, we're going to play offense, and we're going to take you out, we're going to take you out, we're going to take you out, because you're a danger to the world.
This is what we need. You just gave me a brilliant idea. The analogy, the football coach, the president, we need war cheerleaders. If we can just get
I think there's plenty of people that would step up and
women
do that.
in khakis over there. Be
Sure.
aggressive.
Be aggressive. Right.
Be aggressive. B-O-M-B. B-O. All right. 619
there's
with
plenty of
Dixon
that.
and Finding. Hey, eTech Communications, eTech.cc, 2 phones. We're talking about having a virtual assistant, having call forwarding, all the features you want, nothing you don't, for significantly less than what you might be paying right now. eTech.cc, Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP. That is eTech Communications, eTech.cc. Three things coming up next. Stick around. see the whole family's back together again, so he thought it'd be fun to break out a little family song like this.
That's me on bass. Did you like that? Mount, mount, mount.
Laying down that funky groove. Yeah. Sister Sledge, 624 Talk 995, Talk995.com. It is Dixon. It is Vining. It is West. It is Phil Carter in the traffic center. We're all here.
All back together.
Yeah.
And thank you last week to everybody
Maybe.
that chipped in.
That was very nice
Yeah,
of.
it was great.
thank
John
you for-
Bird really busted it for us.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you,
I mean,
John.
it was
Yeah,
cracked already. So.
kind of.
yeah.
Sort of. Yeah. All right, you ready to do this?
Yeah. Let's do it. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
All right, President Trump shared on Truth Social a video yesterday of a military strike in Iran. The explosions lighting up the night sky because it was night there, daylight here. The strike was on an ammunitions facility where there was a high volume of 2,000-pound munitions. President Trump confirmed yesterday that the U.S. will soon find out whether the Speaker of Iran's parliament wants to work with his administration to end the war in Iran. You would think by this point they would. Trump has urged Iranian's regime to make a deal. The president said that he would know in about a week if a deal would be worked out. It might take less than that. We'll just have to wait and see. We do know leaders from the old regime have been wiped out and replaced by a new group. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, will begin targeting economic assets of Iran and their regime, and now that their initial list of military objections has been completed. So the war continues, even though we're trying to, get the new regime to come to the table to talk to us to try to work things out. And yesterday, also taking care of some of these ammunitions facilities. So,
And then, of course, we had the concept floated over the weekend. The Wall Street Journal did a story about potentially going in and grabbing the uranium, which would be
could do that.
interesting, and possibly taking over Carge Island. And there's lots of little bits and pieces here that you can never tell whether Trump is head faking or whether he means it or, whether he's trolling people. So we'll see where the dust lands.
Yeah, it sure will. Some 500 TSA workers quit during the nightmare and DHS partial shutdown. Through an emergency directive, President Trump is paying those workers, and it started happening yesterday. Finally, the 4, 5, and 6 hour long lines are beginning to diminish. For weeks, 50,000 TSA agents were not paid because the Democrats were pretty much hell-bent on making sure that ICE agents and Border Patrol agents were not funded because they don't like the fact that they're enforcing the law.
Yeah.
Kind of seems strange.
How dare you?
New York, Houston, Atlanta, Baltimore, and other major cities dealing with those long lines said that the lines were much shorter yesterday. Security lines were the longest in TSA's nearly 25 history. We haven't seen anything quite like what we've been through the last 4 weeks.
Well, they got the TSA agents doing that sort of grunt work that is annoying. The TSA agents, it has to be done. If you've ever been to an airport, you realize that you are one down escalator away from going upstairs and breaking through security. And that's why there has to be someone there to make sure that doesn't happen,
Yep.
And instead of putting a trained TSA agent there, standing there guarding a stupid escalator or a staircase, they instead put them, on the line, and they put ICE agents over there and go, just don't let people come up here.
Yeah. Well, and thank goodness that, Americans want to travel and we want to be able to get around, and that was making it really difficult. So, but still, we don't have an end to this shutdown. So
No,
we need an answer
does
to
need
that.
to happen.
Finally, this Buc-ee's customers may not be happy about a change at the popular convenience store / gas station. The Texas-based retailer rolled out a new policy this month. Hang on. Customers must pay with a credit card or a debit card at the gas pump.
No.
Ooh.
What?
Buc-ee's is also restricting the use of gift cards to merchandise in the store and food. You can't use the gift card to pay for gas.
Oh, come on.
I would say, why not? It's
I
all
get that.
Buc-ee's, all
That's-
Buc-ee's
that's
everywhere,
what I'm
right?
thinking. I'm thinking
If I want to
gas
buy
is
gas with it,
probably
especially
your-
with it as high as it is right now.
Hello?
What in the world's going on there?
I do not understand.
I don't either. If you-
I don't understand people who don't pay at the pump because that is like the greatest invention ever. I'm like, hold on a second. So I can gas up my car, I can pay, and I never have to deal with another human being? This is for me. I'm all about this. Hello?
No, I guess apparently people want to go in and pay for, with cash.
Well, yeah, you can do
you
that.
know,
I mean, if you are going to pay in cash, you can do that ahead
Yeah.
of time. You can still pay, walk in and prepay in cash for your gasoline. But if you're paying with a card, you got to pay. And I guess it might be designed to lessen the lines in there, you
Yeah,
think?
right. I would
Because, I
think.
mean, it's been kind
Well,
of busy
lessen the
sometimes.
lines both places. Pay
Yeah.
with a card and get your car out of the way.
I agree with that. Nothing more annoying
Just
than
go
somebody
park.
just leaves their
If you're
car
going
in
into
there.
Buc-ee's, get your gas and then go inside, or
And
vice
then-
versa. I
yeah.
don't know what people are doing.
I need answers.
Yeah.
Why are you
up with
bothering me?
this?
Get out of my way. I have to go buy some beaver nuggets.
That's right. Or some beef jerky.
Anthony and Company Jewelers, 2080 Valladale Road, next to Ragtime Cafe, the best jewelers on the planet. It is the little jewelry store that could. It is the surprisingly large inside selection with a great low prices, so low, in fact, they can't afford to have a sale. Anthony and Company Jewelers, for every upcoming holiday. You got Easter coming at the end of this week. You want to give your special someone a little something, something. If you'd like to give somebody, something to mom, Mother's Day, huh? Or your spouse, that'd be good. And, of course, it is sort of wedding season, or it's time to get engaged. Anthony and Company Jewelers, anthonycojewelers.com on the web.
Talk 99.5, talk995.com. You're listening to Dixon and Vining. And don't forget the Jack Links 500 at Talladega is coming up in April, the 24th through the 26th. And we've got some tickets to give away if you haven't texted the word Talladega to 545-9950. Make sure you take care of that. You just need to do it one time.
One time.
If you've never texted us, well, this is a great opportunity. Give us your first name and the city you live in. Yeah, we don't need your blood type and social security number and all that good stuff. Just
we'll take
first name and a city.
But we don't need it.
Right. 545-9950.
If
Text
you've
the
never
word Talladega.
texted anyone before, now would be the time to ask your 12-year-old, how do you do this?
It is surprising, that we've got this enormous database, and if folks, we don't do anything with it. You're just part of the Talk
Just
99.5
sits there,
family. It does.
Languishing.
And so many times when we do the ticket giveaways, it's just amazing how many more people we have listening that aren't in that database, and it's thousands and thousands and thousands in the database.
We are not selling your information.
We're not doing anything with it
to anyone until we get enough of you into it. Then once it's going to be worthwhile, then
we won't do that to you.
We will not sell it.
It's just a way for us to be able to communicate with you.
We will rent it out.
Yes.
It's a way to really make money.
Hey, speaking of money, would you like to keep more of your own money? Like, not give it away to somebody in a way that you hadn't thought of before. That happens a lot when you decide to sell your current car or trade your current truck. Man, somebody else gets the equity, and it's a horrible feeling. It really is. And here's the thing. When Craig started Birmingham Broker, he knew that. He said, you know what? I can sell this vehicle and try to get you as much equity as possible for a nominal fee. It's just incredible what these guys can do. Birmingham Broker is in downtown Birmingham, so you're working with a company that's local, and you'll feel good about that. 2224 4th Avenue South. But seriously, if you have an SUV, a truck, maybe a sports car or something, and you need a different vehicle for whatever the reason is, the hassle of selling it yourself, don't go through that. Don't trade it, because that dealership, there is no doubt, they're doing everything in their power to take advantage of you as far as getting your money and maybe keeping some of that equity from your used car. It's just the way that works. So get in touch with Birmingham Broker today and sell your used vehicle through them. Craig and Keith, you'll love all the guys that work there. BHAMBroker.com, that's the website, or go see them downtown Birmingham. It's Birmingham Broker.
Donald Trump's D.C. a crackdown on crime and homelessness by the numbers. Are you ready?
Let's have it.
142 homeless encampments cleared out throughout the nation's capital. The Make D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force launched on March 28th of 2025. So they rounded up the numbers about a year later. Since then, more than 3,500 personnel, including 800 federal law enforcement officers and 1,800 National Guard troops, hit the streets of Washington to address crime. There are no known encampments between National Park Service units in the D.C. area parks, a White House official told the Daily Caller. More than 350 individuals struggling with homelessness have been connected with mental health services since the start of the task force. They did this crazy thing that they found was working in a couple of small towns in America. They said, you got a choice. You can get into some sort of program, and we will pay for it. We will put you in this program, and we will pay for you to be in this program. Or you can go to jail. Or you can leave. But staying here in this tent is not an option. That is not there's no third option. It's you either go into the program and we pay, or you go to jail for vagrancy, or you leave. Really, that's it. And
right.
Lo and behold, 350 people took advantage of the program. I'm sure there were many, many more. If there were, 140 homeless encampments that they got rid of, there were probably far more than 350 people. So some of them left, and some of them may have gone to jail.
And I think this is the answer. I mean, now's the time to go visit Washington, D.C., right?
Oh, yeah.
This is a great time to go now that they've cleaned it up. I was there, 5-6 years ago, and it was a mess. You were stepping over all kinds of nastiness, trying to get to mass transit and things like that and walking around. It really wasn't very pleasant. I would go back now. But here's the thing. You just said it. These should be the only two options. There's too much of just allowing homelessness to happen. Yeah. In this great country, there's no reason for it. No. There's no reason for anybody, and I can hear it. People are, yes, there is. There is help on every other corner like there is a church, right? We've got churches, we have organizations, and I think specifically about Birmingham, it's that way in every other city.
Absolutely.
There's a million ways to not be homeless. There truly is.
Absolutely.
And there are Americans in every city that say, What can I do to help? How can I help? Whether it's a shelter, whether it's a church, you have options, and you can choose not to be homeless. There's a way to not be homeless.
This is one of the dirtiest little secrets that you'll have and that nobody wants to discuss out loud, which is homelessness is 98.8% a choice.
And that's because of either mental issues or drug issues.
Yes.
And again, you're right. It is a choice, because if they get a little bit of help and they get off it, they don't like it.
Yeah.
Many of them don't like it. And they're like, nope, I don't like this. I'm going back to taking my drugs, and I'm going back on the street. Or
rather live
I'm
on the street
taking
and be high.
right, or I'm taking my mental health medicine, and I don't like the way I feel. I liked the other way, where I wasn't taking my medicine. And they're back out on the street.
And harassing people and causing problems. Over the last year, 11,205 arrests have been made as of March 26, data provided. Approximately 62 known gang members, 1,956 narcotics subjects, 1,036 subjects of firearms offenses, 30 homicide subjects have been arrested since the task force was created. The wait time for concealed carry permit appointments, get this, has been shortened from 4 months to a day.
1 day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Very impressive.
That is.
Homicide rates dropped 61%. Motor vehicle theft decreased by 53%. Robbery fell by 45%. Wow. In August, Trump federalized the D.C. police and deployed the National Guard to Washington, D.C. to help with crime in that city.
But you know who's not talking about this?
Any of the mainstream media?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's so good in D.C. They don't, and again, you'd have to credit Donald Trump with this, and so they don't even mention it. You're not going to hear this on CNN.
No.
You're not going to hear that, hey, everybody should go vacation to D.C.
No.
while Trump is in office and things are really good there. Because I'm afraid you get a Democrat back in in office, all this goes to kaput again.
He did a couple of things. Well, this is interesting because Trump, of course, as leader of the free world, he travels around to other capital cities. He has been to the capital of France, Paris. He's been obviously in Bonn, Germany, or Berlin. I think they may have moved it back to Berlin. I don't remember. He's been to St. Petersburg. He's been to Rome. He's been to all these other cities. And he says, Washington, D.C. is the only one that's a hellhole.
Right.
Why
that's
have we
our
let
capital.
our capital
Right.
turn into a complete and utter hellhole? We have to do something about this. And that's also the reasoning behind the Grand Ballroom that he's attaching to the White House. He's like, we go to these other places, they have the most amazing palaces, the most amazing gathering places. We have the most wonderful, exceptional, enjoyable get-togethers with thousands of people involved. You come to Washington, D.C., we put you in a tent.
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
And
that's
if it
embarrassing.
rains, you're going to be walking through slop.
And mud, and
Yeah.
the women's high heels are going into the ground.
Yeah.
That's never any fun.
It's amazing. And all of that because he went around to other places and said, we're better than these places. We should
Absolutely.
have everything as good as they do. How is it possible that no president up until now has thought that way? Now, to be fair, under Reagan and George H.W., and I think even George W. Bush, you could say that Washington, D.C. was not the homeless hellhole that it has been allowed to become as a result of what the leadership there has
And you
let
just
happen.
nailed it. Allowed.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Oh,
right.
yeah, it was
They
absolutely
allowed it.
Sure. I mean, look, it came down to this. You make the arrests, you grab the bad people, you lock them up, and you keep them locked up, and lo and behold, the crime rate drops. We were just talking yesterday as we got an email from, I think it was Angry Trucker, who was, talking about, well, what the hell's going on with our justice system here?
It's messed up in Alabama.
The guy who
because of
killed
what we're
Anaya
seeing.
Blanchard doesn't get the death penalty.
Nope.
We got five people, four of them were really five victims, but four of them were
Part of the Dadeville
charges.
shooting.
Yeah, in the Dadeville shooting.
Yeah.
And you had, five people that they got 5 years each to serve, and they've already served 3 of it, so in 2 they'll be out. And you're like, these people murdered people. They killed people. You can say, well, they didn't mean to. They brought a gun to a crowded environment and began shooting. What did you think was going to happen?
Well, everybody just jot down the names of those in Dadeville that are getting this light sentence, it looks like.
Yeah.
Follow them in the next 2 years, in the next year,
Mm-hmm.
and see what happens. Guarantee you, out of those 4 guys, at least 3 of them are going to reoffend.
Yeah. No, not in the 2 years that they're still in prison. But
No,
once they
not
get
while
out,
they're in
yeah,
prison.
Once they get back out.
Once they're out,
Although there's no telling.
Just wait and see.
Yeah, prison can be a place to reoffend as well. And you add to that the governor commuting the sentence of the guy who was part of that robbery and ended
killed
up
that
shot in
guy.
the head. Horrible situation in an auto parts store in Talladega. Talladega. Text us, Talladega. And, here you got, it just looks soft on crime.
It does.
And
all because he didn't pull the trigger. He wasn't the trigger guy, but
Yeah.
he still, was part of the plan to kill
thing,
this guy.
This thing had been adjudicated time and time and time again, over and over and over again. It has been in front of various judges, and every single time that death penalty has been upheld. The Supreme Court of the state of Alabama upheld it, and the governor was like, all right, we'll commute the sentence. We spent a lot of money trying this guy to not kill him, and I'm just like, wow. It's not that I'm desperate to see him dead. I'm desperate to see justice done sooner, done correctly, and done with alacrity. I want to see it hurt, is what it comes down to. When you make a decision like, I'm going to bring a gun to this event where it's going to be in a crowded environment, and we're going to start shooting, you should have to pay for that judgment. That really bad judgment that you had, you should have to pay for that for more than 5 years of
I
your
would say
life.
in 5 years, that's not going to change them. It's a culture thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're out of jail, that gun they'll find another weapon, even if they have to steal it. And they'll be carrying that weapon, and they will once again use it in a way that they used it in Dadeville. And if you think that's going to change, I don't think this short sentence that they're going to have is going to change a darn thing.
But that is exactly what we're talking about and why this D.C. crackdown worked. Donald Trump was dead on the money about that. He said, if we just go in, we arrest the bad guys, we lock them up, and we keep them off the streets are going to be safer. And having a larger police presence. And when did we start to lose that large police presence? 2020, not Rodney King, George Floyd.
Yep.
And the whole defund the police. We need to rethink policing. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Mm-mm.
That's not. Policing is working just fine. This is like because of a couple of problems in Minneapolis during the TSA, or rather the ICE raids. Now suddenly it's like, we're not going to fund ICE anymore. You're not going to fund ICE?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once again, it's not about funding ICE. It's about teaching those that protest, don't turn a protester into an agitator. There's a big difference. There's where the problem is. It's not the ICE agents. They did exactly what they were supposed to save their own life. You've got to go to the protesters and say, look, stand on the sidewalk, protest peacefully. But the minute that you start inserting yourself and become an agitator and a problem for these ICE agents, it's going to be a problem for you. And you could, quite frankly, lose your life. That's how this works.
That's how this works. You get in the way of
you might get shot.
Duly appointed law enforcement officer who is carrying out his duties. There's going to be trouble, and you may end up dead. That's just how it works. And if you're stupid enough to get involved like that, then you get no sympathy from me. DrivewayWashing.com. Let's talk about Cody. He opened this thing up 11 years ago, and he now cleans everything. I mean, he does commercial work for barbers, local schools, does the BJCC, does a lot of local restaurants, okay? Residentially, yes, he can clean your driveway. Of course, that's why it's called DrivewayWashing.com. But he also does patios and decks and roofs and stain removal, siding and gutter cleaning and rust removal and outdoor window cleaning. And basically, if it can be cleaned with a pressure or a soft washer, Cody can do it. Jobs take about 3-4 hours. Price is very reasonable. Is he the least expensive pressure washer? No, that punk from the end of the block who's driving around with a residential pressure washer in the back of his pickup truck, he's probably going to be less, and he's not going to do a very good job, and you'll have no recourse if he doesn't do a good job, which is why you want to go with a professional like Cody. He's been doing this for 11 years. He's the best at it. It's just that simple. DrivewayWashing.com. Give him a call at 915-0646, 915-0646. That's 205 area code. You can also text him at that number and get a free estimate to find out more. 915-0646, DrivewayWashing.com. Run. Run away. 6:54, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Jeff, joke of the day. You ready?
Go.
As I stared at my naked body in the full-length mirror, I realized I was going to be kicked out of the IKEA.
Oh.
So he put the mirror together
Apparently.
and then stripped.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're together at the IKEA store. when
You
go to
think
the
so?
IKEA store. Yeah, I think that's true.
They go hand in hand.
Let's go boating. Rodney's Marine has got some fine, top-quality boats, both new and pre-owned, with their Suzuki Power. The 5-year warranty on that Suzuki engine makes all the difference in the world. It means you've got peace of mind that you know you're going to be well taken care of. Rodney's Marine is going to take great care of you. All of these boats have in-house financing available and great low monthly payments. And plus, the accessories, and more accessories that you can pile onto this thing. If that's what you want, you can buy them and put them on yourself if you're a do-it-yourselfer. I'm way past that point. I'm now at the point where I'm like, here, Rodney,
you do it.
You do it for me, and they'll be happy to and do it right. Great people.
Here's the thing. If you've not been out on a boat in a while, and maybe you're listening and you're like, yeah, I haven't done that in a while, and I'd really like to maybe consider purchasing a boat. What about renting one at Rodney's Marine just to get the feel of it again, take the fam out on it? You can do that. And these boats are beautiful. We've been out on some of Rodney's boats, and they're just gorgeous. So take a spin out there on a Starcraft or a Silver Wave pontoon, and you can call Rodney's today, see what's available, 525-1500. Maybe there's a birthday or an anniversary coming up. We're in the weather to get out there on the lake. So call and make a reservation and maybe rent a boat, and then hang around, introduce yourself to Rodney and the gang there, and take a look at what they have there. There's a lot. Rodney's Marine, Highway 231 on Lake Logan, Martin, and Cropwell. Again, 525-1500 on Facebook and at rodneysmarine.com.
Here's a better version of Jeff Show. Anytime I can improve upon something, I'm going to. That's how I roll.
He's been sitting here thinking
Just
how he
can't
can
resist.
improve on that.
I can't help myself exactly.
I can't wait, Richard.
Well, there's an older married couple that go to a marriage counselor, and they say, we get along okay. Maybe we're just set in our ways, but things just are not happening in the bedroom like they used to. It's just there's no passion anymore. And the doctor says, I've seen this before with people your age. This happens all the time. He said, the problem is you're really set in your ways, aren't you? It's like, yeah, every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Yeah, okay, see, that's the problem. You have this schedule. You're regimented.
Right,
so
too regimented.
You've got to, when the mood strikes, wherever, whatever is going on, that's when you make it happen.
Boy, this mirror joke is getting long.
The spontaneity.
Turned into quite the story.
Spontaneity. I can't wait. I'm just on the edge of my seat.
You need to be spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Yes.
So try that. Come back and see me next week. They come back next week. Guy says, Doc, you're absolutely right. I mean, Sunday morning breakfast, I looked at her over the table. She looked at me. We both knew the mood was right. I swept everything off the table onto the floor right there. And the doctor said, and what was the aftermath of that? And he said, well, we're never going to get back into the IHOP again.
The lead up to that
Yeah.
was just amazing.
You got to have a good setup.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Richard.
Elton says, so AOC was getting ketamine treatments. Interesting, in case nobody knows what ketamine is, it is used in anesthesia and for pain treatment. It is also an intense psychedelic. That's why people refer to it as a K-hole. That is from Elton. Yeah, ketamine is what killed Matthew Perry, okay?
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of aware of how
careful of that
serious
stuff.
this is. Now, this was a doctor who did prescribe ketamine, but there's been no proof that it was prescribed to AOC, okay? I don't want to go down this road of conspiracy theory without having more facts. He was also a psychiatrist. Mm-hmm. He was supposedly being paid $19,000 to lend guidance and psychological help to their campaign. Not unusual. I literally know people who do this for a living, who are doctors, who are parts of campaigns to talk about, psychologically, here's the best way that you can put this. And when people within the campaign have problems, because it's a very, very stressful thing, they will come to see somebody like that. So, yeah, it's entirely possible that this guy was getting paid $19,000 to provide that sort of guidance to the AOC campaign in her last run. I guess that'd be 2024 because she's a House member. And he just also so happens to prescribe ketamine. So let's not jump to
on
that
that, yeah.
conclusion. Even though we dislike AOC, and it would be really easy to do so, it's probably a little unfair. And unfair is what Democrats do. Republicans try to be at least a little even-handed, right?
Yep, and
Conservatives.
maybe dig a little further into this entire thing and investigate a little bit more. But it does seem a little odd, though, Richard.
It's not as odd as you might think.
Yeah.
Would it be funnier if I'd said Denny's? They won't.
Yeah, I think Denny's would have been. Actually, that would have been better.
What about Waffle
IHOP's
House?
a little more
What
sophisticated.
have we gone with Waffle House?
Waffle House would have been perfect.
That would have been right on the money.
That's what you
There
should
you
have
go.
said.
Waffle House
Darn it.
might have welcomed it.
They would have
That's
said,
right.
"Hey, not a bad idea. We'll clear the restaurant out. Everybody go. We need some to-go boxes, please."
Okay. That's enough out of you people. Hey, the Pentagon is going to be briefing again here in about a couple of minutes.
Good. Let's
Maybe
hear
we
what they
can
gotta
hear what
say.
Pete Hegseth has to say
Yeah.
when we
Secretary
hurry
of War.
right back.